All right, let's talk about how we can use the blues scale over a standard. This is something that's done so often by so many jazz piano greats, probably the most notable example being the great Oscar Peterson. So let's take a look at how this works, because most of us probably know the blues scale, but how do we actually apply it over more standard progressions and progressions found in different standard songs from the songbook? Well, that's what we're about to talk about, and it really is a very important thing to understand if you want to be playing at a professional level. All right, with all that said, let's dive into the video. So the blues scale is really interesting because it allows us to create some tension even just right on a simple dominant chord. So in the intro to this video, I was playing a G7 to a C7, right? The beginning of the song, Willow Weep for Me. Now, when you have a G7 and the G blues scale, you automatically have this little clustered sound. This sharp 4 really wants to resolve down, probably all the way down to that flat 3. But it's interesting because the chord itself has also a natural 3, right? So the blues scale already wants to resolve in and of itself. So I want you to check out how bad this blues scale wants to resolve back to 1 when we play it on the 4. So here's 1 to 4. Feels so good to resolve, right? Our ears can definitely pick up on the fact that even though I'm playing a C7, we're playing this G blues sound. And then when the scale ends, right, we resolve back to that G and it feels so good. Well, check this out. Let's say you have some other super common progressions, like just a 1-6-2-5. G, E, A, D. Also sounds really good. One thing to keep in mind though, as you're noticing, is that this tension and resolution is really important. So I think one mistake that a lot of very beginning players will make is they'll just play that blues scale. Oh, we're in the key of G, I'm just gonna play the G blues scale, and they don't know when or how to resolve to a new chord. So realistically, you know, in a sense, you're hinting at this G7 whenever you play the blues scale, you're hinting at the key center. But if you just never resolve, then it just sounds like you don't really know what you're doing. If, however, you resolve to another chord, it can work really well. Quick interjection, I am doing a giveaway of free entry into my brand new Jazz Piano Evolutions course. All you have to do to enter is make sure you're subscribed to my channel and then leave a thoughtful comment about the content of this video below in the comments section. If you're seeing this, then the giveaway has now begun and it ends the day that my Jazz Piano Evolutions course is officially released to the public. YouTube is not affiliated at all with this giveaway, and make sure you read the more detailed guidelines in the description of this video. Oh, and if you're getting a lot out of this video so far, please be sure to hit the like button. It really helps me and the channel out. So here's another great example. We're just gonna do 2, 5, 1, and G, that's it. So A minor to D7 to G7. So here in this case, we actually do give a little bit of a hint of the D7, right? So we did something like this. Right here, I finally give that D7. So that really is our resolution. And then we also resolve back to the G. It would still be okay though, even if we didn't do that D7, so check this out. Now, what if we aren't resolving to a G? What if it's a kind of a false cadence here? What if we're somehow resolving to a B flat major? Well, we need to land well, basically. So we basically just need to find a way to melodically resolve that makes sense, and what we did will sound purposeful. So let me show you a more advanced example. So this is actually from one of my songs, which by the way you can find on Spotify. It's called Back Cycles. So if you search Noah Kellman, Back Cycles, you'll find it. So this one part basically goes like this. G flat major 9 to A flat minor 11 to A sus 13 to this G flat sus 2 over over B flat here. Really nice sound, I like that. But we got this ascending progression. So it's kind of a tricky thing to improvise at because it's going fast like this. So we could try to hit every chord. That works, right? But check this out. So I know we're resolving to a B flat major coming up next. So check out how awesome the B flat blues scale sounds. It's so weird. So it creates this amazing tension and works over that whole chromatic progression. Especially because we're leading into the B. But let's look at the actual notes. Kind of makes this almost like a A flat half diminished sound. It actually works really well over the A sus 13. So this is basically perfect, and then we add this little tension note. Then this is just straight up tension. So that's creating tension that we then have to resolve. But why does this work so well? In my opinion, the main reason is because the blues scale, when you play it, just sounds so rooted to its original key. We recognize the sound so well. So in this case, you just immediately hear that B is the root because the scale is structured in such a definite, finite way. So far we've been doing dominant sounds, but what are some other sounds that the blues scale can also work over? Well, we could also do minor 2/5s. Let's see how that sounds with the blues scale. Sounds great, right? Minor 1/6-2/5. So you probably recognize that sound too. Now remember how I talked about 1/6-2/5s? Well, what about a rhythm changes? Now we're in B flat. We go to the 4. Well, one thing I love to do is basically use the B flat blues scale here. Just works so great over that whole progression. Now, I'm not saying you want to literally just improvise with the B flat blues scale constantly, but it actually creates an interesting sound over rhythm changes because of that tension. You're not just going right through. You're doing something a little bit different. And of course, throw in some of the other chord changes there as well. Now, do you have any other interesting uses for the blues scale? Because I would love to hear about them. Let me know in the comments, what are some ways that you like to use it? Are there any specific progressions that you use it on? Definitely let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any more tutorials just like this one. And of course, if you learned something, please hit the like button. All right, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.